Hey guys, Artosis here with the CasterMuse Star League Season 4. This is a 3rd and 4th place match. It's a best of 7, and we are now in game number 4. So if you missed the first 3, go and check them out. In the bottom left, we have our Terran player leading 2-1. It is Rush. In the top right, our Zerg player winning that last game on Optimizer. It's Action. Now, I think that they've both been playing pretty well overall, utilizing some intelligent strategies. The crazy Zerg style that we saw from Action on Optimizer. It was really good for that map. I don't think that we'll see it again on any of these maps. It's kind of like a very, like, you technically can do it on any map, but that map is the best for it. And honestly, the way that Rush played against it, I wasn't a gigantic fan. Honestly, like if you go dropship play against Ultralisk openers, you have to do so much damage to be able to win that game, and he just was unable to get it against the mutas and against the mined out minerals where there could be some ultras coming down to help. So see how this one goes. A 2-1 in a best of 7, not bad, not bad. That means that we're going pretty deep in the series no matter what. The map is Shakura's Temple. It's one of the better maps for Mutalisk harassment in general. All the bases are on the side of the map, which does change it a little bit. And of course, you have all sorts of terrain changes through the center as well, like double ramps. See, he goes up one ramp from where his natural is, then another ramp. This is the highest level that takes up most of the center. So you definitely can see scuffles around there. There's a lot of areas to like throw overlords up that can't really be hit, so that's kind of nice for Zerg. But yeah, nothing too weird. I would call it a pretty standard map. It's not as standard and easily playable as something like Polypoid, but yeah, maybe more on like an Eclipse level of normalness, where it's got some silliness to it in a way with the double ramps, but just a pretty solid map overall. All right, a bit of scouting going on here from Rush. Sends out that second SCV, checking for like incoming overlords or anything. Kind of figures out, okay, you know what, he's top right, and we'll send his SCV up there. He's going to see that it looks like a 2-hatchery gas timing once again. And Rush, of course, he's made a single Marine into his command center. So kind of skips that secondary Marine and gets the command center a little bit quicker, trying to push back the drone. Very common play. You don't want that drone coming up that he hasn't really scouted Rush yet. So there is the possibility that there's a gas and a vulture could be on the way. And we'll have to see if he throws down that sunken or not. Rush is not really a player that goes for mech builds or 1-1-1s very often. He's very much a bio player. So you could see Action trying to read into it like that. But we'll see if he throws down the sunken. Now, some Lings out to push back the SCV. Layer came first, and then speed, so everything pretty standard here from Action. Looks like 2 barracks coming up from Rush. Not really heavily producing his Marines as of yet. And the Academy very, very fast. So this looks like it's an Academy Rush for the most part. He's going to want to produce his Marines non-stop from here. And he'll probably try to move out with, about 8-ish Marines and 2 medics with Stim on the way. Now, they're cross-spawned, so it's really hard to do too much with that. But, for instance, if Action goes for a quick third base, which is very, very normal, like a third base here or possibly a third base here. It could go up here, but I think it's more likely in this map to go here or here. It's possible that Rush can force a cancel against that unless a lot of Lings are made. Now, let's see what Action wants to end up doing, because we already know Rush's build, right? It's an Academy Rush. He wants to get that out immediately. Yeah, see, he's got 7 Marines and the medics start. So it'll be 7 Marines, not 8 this time. I did think, he was a little bit light on Marine production. But that still gives you a very strong fighting force against a Zerg that doesn't make too many Lings. So the Spire coming up. We have the eBay for Rush. Kind of sitting in his natural right now. Still has an SCV on the map, which is pretty awesome, actually. He's just kind of checking around looking for that third base. Oh, Action This is the best counter against the Academy Rush that there is making your third hatchery in your main base. Because what this build is doing, you're actually cutting like a little bit of SCV production. You're getting out there pretty quickly and all. But you really want to force Sunkens and cancel a third. So he's forcing the Sunkens, but as the SCV gets up, and we'll check, there's no third on the map. It's actually the hatchery in the main. So Rush can't actually get any damage done with this other than those sunken colonies. And it's not that big of a deal for Action. Maybe it'll slow down the appearance of 6 mutas just slightly. So Rush has to kind of walk back. He joins up with a couple fire bats. Looks like those probably fought some lings based on the damage on them. But yeah, it doesn't really have, you know, any real damage to Action here, I guess. If this is all that you got to force, was the Academy Rush worth it? It's still an okay build. It's just it didn't do what was intended. So Action now with 3 hatchery production will be able to field a bit more units. He's getting +1 attack for the mutas, so definitely is going to be pretty busy with that. And I'm not too surprised to see that on Shakuras either. The naturals are very hard to defend with turrets. So if Rush skimps at all, I think he'll have a bit of a hard time. Right now, mostly drones being made, and we don't know where that third base will be going up for Action, but we do know he's going to want it pretty soon. A bunker going up. This is new. I have never seen this. That's fascinating. Bunkers don't target, so this spot is like notoriously hard to hold with turrets. So maybe that was his thought process. Wow, that's fascinating. I don't know if that's good or not yet, but we'll see. Action might be caught off guard there as well. So the Muta's still just kind of flying around. As he builds up that Mutalisk count a little bit more, and he is doing that, he should get a whole group of Mutas. Yeah, see, he has 5 more on the way. He's going to be able to kill this all off, including the bunker. But he's actually kind of avoiding it right now. The thing is, turrets target 1 muta at a time. The Marines in the bunker will spread their damage a bit more, so they're not actually dealing that much damage to the overall Mutalisk swarm, and it takes up the spot of a turret and a half, in fact. Okay, so the Muta's coming in. Kind of interesting from Action, no third base. Instead, Queen's Nest and Hydralisk Den. So he's really powering... Oh, he is taking a third down here. Just started it. But he's really powering up on those 2 bases right now, going right towards that hive, getting those lurkers ready. And there's really no way for Rush to deny this third base. So he's going to have that very, very cleanly. Double starport is on the way. It's got actually a good anti-air here overall. I'm really excited to see if Action decides to jump on there with the bunker or not. I know this may seem silly, but like I've really never seen that. All right, the mutas, we have a full group now. 11 mutas in here. Micron against those Marines picks off some. Got to be careful about that as Rush. You can bleed those off so quickly. A lot of lings coming out as well. Floats the, that's kind of weird. Floats over the minerals. That can be targeted as well, though, for glaives to hit everywhere. The Muta's still flying around. Down to 10 here. Brings in an 11th. So back up to his full group. Looks like he's going to try to sneak into the main base here. Comes in with those mutas. He's going to kill the turrets so quickly. The Marines as well. The army of Rush has to turn around. Now, these lings are not going to make it out of here, but he can actually micro with these mutas on the ramp, making it very hard to come up, and that's what he's going to do, killing off a lot of these Marines as Rush starts to push up. Uh-oh, Rush in some serious trouble. The lings killing so much in this main base, and the mutas stalling out everything, stalling out those reinforcements. And it looks like finally Rush will get back into his own base. In the meantime, he did send some Marines around. Oh my God, this counterattack is so important. If he can kill this hatchery, that is a huge move, because I was about to tell you guys, he's pretty behind after this nice play from Action. He lost a lot of Marines, he lost a lot of SCVs, and Action didn't lose that much. But it looks like he's going to kill off the first drones. He's dealing a lot of damage to this hatch. It looks like the hatchery will get saved, though. A couple lurkers being burrowed for any reinforcements. It was good that he killed off the drones there. That was still a good move from Rush, but it didn't do quite as much as I was hoping for him. But looking at this game right now, Rush, okay, he started +2 attack. That's nice. Vessels on the way. His SCV count isn't that bad considering the Lings getting in there and dealing as much damage as they did. 41, that's not bad right now. He's got his 5 racks production, throwing down a second engineering bay. You know what? I think he's still all right. It's still definitely playable, but look at this. The Lurker's trying to sneak around. Well, he's going to kill off a couple medics here, but the group of Lurkers, those are super, super dead. It looks like he was trying to do a sneaky move, maybe like throw down a hold position right here or start a containment, but with the bio already on the map and seeing those Lurkers walk over to where they went, that just wasn't going to work. Now, looking at action, he has a Nidus up here at that 3rd. Lurkers burrowed near the ramp, or at least one burrowed right now. Back at home, another macro hatchery going up, a second evolution chamber. Definitely, he should be headed towards Ultras, but in my opinion, he should be going there not super, super fast. You got to make sure that you can secure your 4th base. And a lot of times, it's going to be easier spending all of your gas on Defilers and Lurkers to get that up. Because you can make that just completely impenetrable defense. Most of the Mute is dead. He does have a few Scourge here, too, looking out for any incoming drops. And Irradiate goes down onto one of those Lurkers. Good click there because he is floating the Mutalisk over it. This is a pretty common tactic to just put something over the Lurkers. It makes it a lot harder to click on them with Irradiate. You'd much rather have a almost useless Mutalisk irradiated there. All right, scans ahead. Gets another one. Good clicking. Overlords are a little bit better to put there if you're an up-and-coming Zerg player. They cover them a bit more thoroughly than a Mutalisk. So, Rush starting to walk out on the map. He has some great upgrades on the way. 2-1 coming in. 6 racks going up as well. Double Science Vessel being produced. Keeps his 6 vessels alive so far. Continues to throw down those Irradiates. But notice he just keeps bringing out more Lurkers and stacking them there. As long as you keep a healthy stack, like if you have 2 to 3 Lurkers stacked, it's really hard for Terran to break through that with Marines and Medics. They just take so much damage. The first volley can just about kill your army. Especially when you stim, right? Because that brings you down to 30 health plus 1 armor. So the double volley will get you. Another Irradiate goes down. A very patient Rush here. Just continually irradiating, reinforcing. Looks like he wants to take his 3rd base too. Sent a few units over here with an SCV. And he's getting ready to try to break in here. But we have the Nidus. We have a Defiler that's come through. But is the ramp going to be taken? Still a single Lurker there, and he backs up. More Lurkers coming out. Ultralisk Cavern is on the way. Rush, relentless with these Irradiates. But now it's time for action to try to go down this ramp. Here we go. Pushing down right now. Irradiates going down. The Dark Swarm gets cast, and he puts some Lurkers down the ramp so he can start the 3rd hatchery. Now, what he needs to do is make sure he has constant reinforcements coming. He's going to need to keep this area under Dark Swarm. A lot of Lings to be eaten, a lot of Defilers sent down. Whereas Rush, he is focusing on Irradiate right now. He just wants to Irradiate over and over and over and break this hatchery. If he can get a cancel on this, he'll be way ahead. But if action gets this up, everything is going according to plan. He's got his Defiler upgrades. Here comes a full energy Defiler right now. He's even getting the energy for them. And as the Radiates come out, he has to throw down another Darkstorm. There it is. So he's going to keep this area alive. And doesn't utilize the second one. You don't really need the second one. Sometimes you see people try to throw 2 down just to be efficient with that energy. But honestly, 1 is going to be fine. Ling's running around here from action. He's trying to make some other things happen on the map. Oh, a big round of fire bats. A brilliant move here, and he will bust the hatchery. It looks like he irradiated every Lurker. We weren't quick enough on action side to get those reinforcements. Oh my god, coming up the ramp right now. So many vessels alive, and don't forget, he did make 5 fire bats. So 5 fire bats with 2 on upgrades can actually fight a lot of stuff under Darkstorm. Quite a few Lings can be killed off. Like almost infinity Lings, in fact. And a single Lurker, not that big a deal. Definitely can be killed. All right, Rush infiltrates this 3rd base. Let's see if he can break through. Coming forward there with those fire bats, but another Defiler comes out. Throws a Plague down onto the vessels, but he needs to save this base as well. He cannot lose this, or Rush will take this game. But the Radiate on those vessels gives him some long-term plays also. Throws down the Dark Swarm and burrows a Lurker underneath. A lot of Lings coming down to fight everything, and it looks like action has held. Plenty of Lings coming up. Taking a 4th base up here, a different location. Oh my god, actually, there's just a handful of units left, and he loses so many drones there. That Firebat being an absolute hero. But the Lings finally do clean it up. 6 vessels in the deep red. If only he had a single Muta here. He is making a Muta somewhere, but it might be too late. But if he can kill those 6 vessels, then suddenly the trade wasn't as bad as it looked. But right now, Action is hurt. He is definitely in some trouble here. Doesn't have that many drones. He doesn't really have defense on top of the ramp. The Muta came out, did get 1 vessel, so still worthwhile, but not quite enough. Oh, he targets down the Nidus. A beautiful move there by Rush. And the Lings with an awesome flank. Oh my god, he's going to kill off so many of these Marines and medics. Radiate's coming down onto his Ultras. But it looks like this base is secured for now. Rush still thinking about going after it, though. Bringing some reinforcements up. He does have his 3rd base up and running, throwing down a 4th command center, some bunkers as well. Lots of barracks up. He has 8 producing, 2 vessels at a time, still going on double engineering bay. So he's going to have those 3-2 upgrades really, really soon. Pretty good upgrades for Action, but definitely cannot roll through easily. Look at that. Radiates come up. He gets the Lurker. He gets the Defiler. Very important units to keep off the battlefield. But Action did get his 4th up. So this is actually turning into a kind of interesting game. Rush doesn't have like an overwhelming amount of troops here, right? Action, 90 supply. That's reasonable for this moment. You know, sometimes you'll see if we don't have as many scuffles, Terran be up like closer to 150 in a situation like this, and you'd be able to put a lot more pressure on in that case. But here, he's still got to be a little bit careful, right? Can he deny this 4th base? Let's see what Action has coming up. He does have a Defiler there. The immediate scan. He needs to radiate it. Throws that irradiate up. It will end up dying, but that's okay if he breaks through here. Sent a couple Marines to finish it as well. A beautiful move. And he is going to be able to kill off this hatchery. It looks like a Defiler pops out here, but will be killed. And the 4th base once again denied. Action having such a hard time here. How is he going to get a 4th up? Oops. What? Okay, well, a little mistake there. Stops it before he loses the hatchery, at least. All right, more Marines and medics being sent out onto the map. You see that higher supply I was talking about before, like 150 here for Rush. He can really spread out his units until the Ultralisks become large in number. Looks like he sends out a Muta, but only catches 1 vessel there. The Radiates are fantastic. Honestly, he's just so on top of it. It feels like his superpower right now. He retains the vessels for a while, but he'll sacrifice them if he needs to. He's zapping every single Defiler every single time. Scans everywhere, just looking for those. Hell, he'll fly through Scourge as long as he stops those Defilers, which are really the way that you end up holding a 4th. All right, a big army up towards the natural here, but also another attack down here. We have a Defiler with plenty of energy, so he can throw some Plagues and Dark Storms down there. Only a single vessel. Hasn't cast that Irradiate as of yet. Does get it off, but there's the Dark Storm, there's the Plague, and not much you can do with this bio until that's cleared up. 4th Command Center going to be landing here for Rush very shortly. SCVs being sent up to it as well. Huge production from Rush. Just great macro here. You can see on those 8 racks. Throwing down irradiates absolutely everywhere. I love that he actually irradiates the mutas, because this is such a common thing. Plagues start going off and then single mutas start getting made, because they do have those glaives, so they can kill up to 3 science vessels with some good bounces, right? But he's irradiating those as well, because it's like, well, you're going to lose the vessels anyways. It is 100 gas to get a muta, force him to make another one. Really cool plays. So more irradiates going down. Double Nidus here at the front. He really wants to reinforce. There you go. He has the Nidus opening. Lots of Lings here, so he can throw these down. Double Dark Storm goes down. But Rush keeps the pressure on. The drone count is actually nearing the SCV count right now, but Rush is on 4 bases. He has 3 gases. I'd love to see more starports for him. Yeah, there's a 3rd starport going down. You definitely can, once you get that third gas, you kind of need the third starport or you're going to have a ton of gas bank. Few units coming over here and finding that fourth base. Action can't be too happy about that. Rush's macro really getting out of control. He's actually almost maxed out, and he's still got a decent vessel count, which is really important because this is so much about irradiate. But look, he's finally secured a fourth base. But can he make this work? He's got to hit like endless plagues and dark swarms to be able to take this one. Another nice plague goes down. See a lot of lings being utilized. +2 melee on the way. Already full armor upgrades here for action. Kind of defending the side of his base too. He knows drops can start to come in. Battle cruisers can start to come in. All right, a lot of lings coming out here. Real control on the map right now from Rush, I gotta say. I think this is some really nice play from him overall. Taking that fifth base, starting to throw up some bunkers as well. And so much of this does come down to just containing action. Look at this double defiler. Throws down, well, actually, he eats one and jumps through the Nidus. So he's going to be able to throw up a Dark Swarm over here as well. Ooh, plagues the army and the Dark Swarm. Going to force them back once again. Pops this out here. Maybe that can be defiler food for the other defiler. But the Dark Swarms remain. He's holding on, but not at very much supply. 84. We're very near the back-breaking supply. Like, generally, if Zerg gets down, like, to 70-ish, that's, like, the very minimum you can hold on with defilers. But that's, obviously, when you're that low against this big of Terran supply, the radiates are never going to stop. They can trade Marines endlessly. But action really, like, he needs to push Rush off of him. And he's having such a hard time with that. It's just, like, perfect map control from Rush this game. It's keeping endless pressure on. All right, another Dark Storm goes down. Just kind of stalling him out with a couple lings. But you know what? Rush says, screw it. We are going to go past there. Targeting down the Nidus. This is a big moment for him. The lings screwing up the AI there. Ultra popping out. He needs another Dark Storm here badly. A lot of lings coming for a flank. Some Marines in the middle will catch them. A Dark Storm goes down, but he doesn't have any lurkers. He can just stand there overall. But another Defiler comes out, so he will be able to eat something and throw down a Dark Swarm here. There you go. The Ultra finally gets on top of those Marines. And I think Action will technically live through this, but I don't think his position is one where you're going to end up winning. His supply has dropped below that 70. He's starting to get broken absolutely everywhere. And GG is called. Rush goes up 3-1.